welcome back. Today we are doing a costumey get ready with me, as well as a little bit of a chatty discussion around some crafts that I've been doing. I was originally going to do this in a two-part video where I showed you the crafts and showed you my processes there, as well as doing the second part with the makeup and the costume. However, I didn't think the first part would be very exciting because it is a work-related event, so I've been doing a lot of the prep at work, so you wouldn't be able to see it. So I figured I'd combine the two. So I'll give you a little bit of a premise before I start my makeup here. I will just moisturize and do my base while I'm talking. But basically, we are having a work charity event at our last shift today, where we raise money for the charity that we have at work. So it helps less fortunate kids go to camp, go to swimming lessons, that kind of thing as well. So basically every year we do this type of charity event with the before and after school program kids, mainly focusing in the afternoon. But essentially we are having a bake sale, a children's art sale, as well as doing games that are focused on the theme. So this year's theme was fairy tales. In each of our program rooms, we decided to focus on specific activities for a specific fairy tale. For my group, I decided to do Sleeping Beauty, mainly because of the costume that I found. However, other groups are doing other things like Peter Pan. There was a Humpty Dumpty group, I think, which I'm still really confused about how it's a fairy tale, but fairy tale, nursery rhyme, close enough, right? But I figured these types of things could be replicated for children's parties. They could also be replicated for adult parties by making them a little bit more adult friendly. And as well, you could use the costume or the makeup for Halloween or a costume party or anything like that, which is why I figured I would talk to you guys about them today. So my group, I decided to do a craft as well as basically two types of games. So the first craft, you could probably guess if we're doing fairy tales, I am going to be making crowns. So what I did for the kids is I copied Sleeping Beauty's crown and I made a whole bunch of copies of it, and then the kids can pick her crown as well as another crown. I basically just modified her crown to make it look more prince-like in case the kids didn't like the Sleeping Beauty one. And they can pick one, they can decorate it however they want. I also have strips of legal size construction paper that I cut out for headbands. Once they're done decorating, they can glue or tape it on, and then their leader can help them size it to their head, cut it, and tape it so they can wear it around for this afternoon. The next thing I decided to do was, originally I was going to use, or I was going to do like a 3 good fairy craft, but instead I found this really cute thing online. It was like, which fairy are you type of personality quiz. But what I decided to do to kind of change that and make it a little bit more friendly for everyone to use was, which fairy would you have? So basically they take this little quiz and ask them questions, and then it tells them which fairy matches their personality best. So for the red fairy or Flora, it would be people who are strong-willed, they're leaders, they're kind of prepared to take on any challenge. For Fauna, which is the green one, it would be people with like quieter personalities, people who are peacemakers. And for Merryweather, which is the blue one, it would be people who are bold and feisty and self-assured and confident in themselves. So I thought it would be really cute for them to do that. But basically, they do this quiz, they pick the corresponding hat, and then they can tape or glue a popsicle stick to it, so it would be like a little photo prop for them, which I think would be really good for kids and adults alike. And then lastly, I'm doing a really quiet game of Graveyard, but I've modified it and called it Sleeping Beauties. So for those of you who don't know what Graveyard is, it's a game where usually the adult or whoever is the leader, and they're the gravekeeper essentially. And they walk around, everybody else is sitting or lying down quietly. They have to stay still, and if the gravekeeper sees them moving other than blinking and breathing, they call them up and then they join the gravekeeper in helping keep the graveyard safe. So what I did for this one is I'm calling it Sleeping Beauties. So it's going to be the same concept. The leader, or if one of the kids wants to be the keeper, they would do the same thing. They would walk around, and if they see movement, they would tap the person on the shoulder and say, hey, your true love is nearby. I saw you moving, so come and join me and see if we can find, if we can help other people find their true love. So it's going to kind of mimic Sleeping Beauty's true love kiss. We're going to leave the kiss part out because they're kids and they think it's gross and whatever. But that's essentially it for the costume aspect of it. Sorry, I've been doing concealer forever. I have so many spots. My face is just broken out like crazy. I probably will end up going back in with this. That kind of stuff could be made into adult-friendly, kid-friendly, any gender, whatever. It would be a lot of fun to do. Pretty straightforward. For my costume, I decided, instead of going to an actual costume shop because they are so expensive, I decided to check out a thrift store because I wanted a princessy dress and I was not willing to pay for a full price for a costume for one day, because costumes are really expensive and half the time I don't even like how they look. I find sometimes they look really cheap. Moving on before I go on my rant, I popped into a thrift store, and you could do this if you wanted to, but they have gowns pretty cheap. I think I got mine for $20. I did have to do a little bit of alteration on it because it is a little bit small, which is the problem with thrift store things. You may not be able to find something in your size, but it was a really easy fix. I did find this dress and I made my own crown. I just basically copied it from the crowns that I made for the kids, and then I painted it gold and I stuck it on a headband so that it stays in my head a little better than just me wearing like a paper headband. And what else did I do? Oh yeah, so for the alteration for the dress, essentially it's a zipper and then there's about this much space of places for lacing to go, like a corset back. However, there was no ties in there, so I'm not really sure how it's supposed to go. But there were straps on the front of the dress that were attached, but not attached in the back, so they were just kind of hanging loose. So what I did was I cut those out, and I sewed them at the top of the zipper on either side, so it could be laced in a corset. Unfortunately, it's still too small for me to corset it. The dress is still pretty tight, so it's not gonna like fall off. But because there is no straps and I don't really want my shoulders out while I'm at work, I figured, what could I do? Sleeping Beauty at the end, the fairies are changing her dress back between pink and blue. I have a blue work shirt, so I thought, perfect. I'll put the blue work shirt over top, I'll tie it up, so her dress is now blue and pink. I know that's not exactly how it works, but I thought it would be the way, like the most appropriate way for me to do it. Yeah, honestly, really easy costume, really cheap in comparison. So I thought that I would share with you guys how I do it. Moving on, I have my base done. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte palette and just kind of go matte. The dress does have a bit of an orangey tone. I will show you guys the full costume at the end. There's a little bit of an orangey tone, a little bit of a gold tone. So I'm going to do really big makeup on my eyes that's pink, orangey, goldy, not bronzy, coppery, and then some glitter. So that is what we're doing. In with this shade here, and this is Crushin. So we're going to use that on the inside here. And I am making it really exaggerated because obviously princesses, I don't know, you would think that they would have a lot of pretty makeup on. Everything I'm doing, I'm going to put in it's all sparkly, it's all shimmery. This one's really hard to see, but I'm really kind of going in on my lid, but also above. So again, really hard to see, but essentially something like that. I am using the fluffy side of my brush. Now I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is called Sleigh Queen. It'll be the next shade, same brush. Really overlapping the colors. Actually, this is on the middle of my eye. Out of all of the like tutorials that I've been watching for makeup, for like glam looks for Sleeping Beauty or for any of the other princesses, a lot of it seems to be really focusing on the wings. I do not have any liquid eyeliner, so I'm not going to be doing any eyeliner, but that's okay. Basically, I'm kind of picking up a technique that I've learned from watching NYX tutorials, which is kind of stamping it on rather than like brushing it on. Good for now. I can obviously go back in with it a little bit later. The next shade I'm going to be using is this shade here, which is called Foiled Again. So it's kind of a little bit of a deeper orangey copper tone. The middle two shades, I'm not going like in super like wide width. Blending them out. Right now it's very much pretty harsh looking on my eyes, like it's pretty like blocky, but we'll be blending them out so it'll be a little better. Alright, the final shade I'm going in with is this one here, which is Velvet Ribbon. I seem to be really gravitating towards these shades recently. Every time I use this palette, these seem to be the shades that I keep going to, and I'm not really sure why. Like, they're really pretty, but also going to drag them a little bit, if I can speak, below my eye. So I'm going to take the pink, so Velvet Ribbon, and just drag it a little bit underneath. This eye, for some reason, is like really low. That's better. A little bit intense. So I didn't do a lot of pink underneath, just a little bit. I'm going to blend that out. And I'm also going to blend out a little bit of gold in the corner. Or sorry, no, I lied. I'm going to be using this color in the corner, which is Pop Fizz Clink. And drag it underneath a little bit. My corners are nice and bright. This fluffy brush again, and just sort of blend all the colors together and diffuse them on my brow. Just blending out the edges, making it a little bit softer. I'm gonna go back in just real quick with the two middle shades and just kind of add them in just a little bit. Nothing too exciting. And because I added the blue in the shirt, or not the shirt, sorry, in the dress, I could go in with a blue too, but I don't really have a light blue, and I don't know how I feel about a dark blue in this. Honestly, I'm really happy with how that looks. Like, it looks really pretty, but I do want to use glitter. So I'm going to go in with this glitter shade just with my forefinger. This is called Jewel. There's glitter on my hands. So I'm just going to go in with my ring finger here, and I'm just going to tap on it a little bit. Actually really impressed with how well this goes on. I'm a little bit nervous to use a glitter shade with a brush. I've never ever used glitter before, and I'm almost afraid that it's going to get stuck in my brush, hence why I haven't used it before. A bit of fallout, so I'm going to use this brush. I am a contact wearer, so I do not want glitter in my eyeball. I'm actually super impressed with how subtle it is. And how it feels. Okay, I'm gonna disappear for one quick sec. Just want to make sure that that's even. I'm gonna go in with just this brush and just kind of swipe above so I can take off the glitter that's like where it shouldn't be. But other than that, oh my goodness, that's super pretty. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it is really pretty. It's really glittery, but like not overwhelmingly so. I'm going to go in with my pink blush. And focus a lot on my apples of my cheeks. Nice like that. And I'm going to go in with my pink and gold highlight here. I'm going to put on my mascara, and that'll be about it. I'm going to go in with this lipstick here. It's like a pinky orangey color. Matches my eyes really well. to change my earrings. I am just about ready to show you guys the whole costume. So I'm gonna go get changed and I will see you guys in a second. So this is the finished costume. My work shirt on the top, dress on the bottom, hides the back. It's really quite nice. I think it's pretty cute. I will have my hair out, but I'm going to leave my braids in as long as possible so that the waves stay nice and tight. So this is the final look. Just imagine my hair down. You can do whatever you would like to your hair. I am really ready to be a princess. Almost forgot. This is what my crown looks like. So I just literally taped it. Yeah. Now I'm really ready to be a princess. So this video is helpful for some of you guys in planning your kids' parties, your friends' kids' parties, your own parties, anything like that. Halloween, a costume party. Basically anything that I can help you with. I really hope that you enjoyed it, even if it doesn't help you do any of that. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.